JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 17th of June 2020, so yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's afternoon live session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts that we looked at this morning. So yep, as always guys, before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. Now then, quick update on what's happening here globally. So yep, unfortunately the number here continues to rise in terms of total infections. Yep. So yep, we'll continue monitoring that, and we'll have a look at how all this is going to look tomorrow. Hopefully this can go down at some point. Now then, jumping into the charts, quick update here on the German DAX. Now this is what I was talking about this morning. Basically, yes, the fact that when the index remained above this 12,273 territory, which is the highest point of March, that was, of course, is a good sign. However, what I was also saying, that be very careful, because in a way, like I said, we don't want to get the same scenario as we had last week, where in the first half of the week the indices were climbing higher, but then they kind of sold off on Thursday and Friday. So as you can see, we had a nice push higher today. However, it didn't really quite move above the yesterday's high. So and yesterday's high is around the 12,434 mark. So as you can see, yep, the index seems to be for now struggling with that. Well, of course, it will still have a bit of trading left here in the German DAX, so let's continue monitoring it, and yep, we'll keep an eye on this, and we'll see where it's going to close. If it does stay, for example, the same as it is right now, then, well, I mean, like I said, the big question then will be tomorrow, or could this drift further north? Jumping into a US index, still not open, but yep, opening up shortly. So the Dow Jones Industrial Average here, we can see that yesterday the index kind of remained in the positive territory. It closed in the positive zone here, and remained above this upside support line taken from the low the 23rd of March. Now, looking at this picture here right now, and looking at the cash index, and we can see that the price is currently balancing at around 26,386 zone. So basically, it is slightly above where it ended, where it ended the trading day yesterday. However, not significantly. So yep, we'll continue monitoring this. Of course, for now, we are leaning a little bit more to the upside. However, as I said, be very careful. Let's not repeat the same scenario as we had last week, where, as I said, the first half of the week we were rising, but then it started selling off sharply. So yep, for now, like I said, we'll keep an eye on this one. If by any chance this upside support line breaks and the price starts falling below the psychological 25,000 mark, then, well, this is where it could become a little bit ugly for the bulls, and more sellers could be joining in here. So that's why for for now, be very careful with this one. Yes, we could be aiming for some higher levels, but preferably from the very short-term perspective, we would like to see maybe a push, at least a push above yesterday's high near the 26,611 zone, and then we could aim for higher levels. Jumping into gold very quickly, so quick update here. To be honest, not much has changed. The only fact that again it broke below the 1723 territory, it dropped below the this 21-day EMA, and yep, as you can see, the bulls kind of quickly pushed the price back up here, and the price is again trading at this 1723 territory. So we'll keep on monitoring this. As I've mentioned to you this morning after a quick update, that in order for us to maybe aim for slightly lower levels here within this range, because don't forget that the commodity is still within the range, we would like to see at least the kind of at least gold kind of moving below the midpoint of this range, which is roughly between the 16.70 and the 17.48 zones. So yeah, for now that's going to be the game plan. In terms of the upside, we would need to wait for a push above the 1748 zone in order to aim for higher levels. This way, the precious metal would signal its exit out of the range here, and yep, maybe more buyers could be joining in. Now then, silver. Silver is a slightly different story here because it's looking a bit more positive, I would say, because as you can see, silver continues to balance above above an upside support line taken from the low of the 18th of March, and we can see that on Monday we had an attempt to break it, and yep, silver broke this upside line. However, the bulls still pushed the price back up and kind of closed it above this upside line, and the same story happened, well, not quite, but on Tuesday, yesterday, the commodity also remained above this upside line, and today we're seeing the kind of the precious metal still balancing above this upside line. However, as you can see, this level here, the 17.60 mark, I spoke about this one a few weeks ago, and basically that's the highest point of March, and you can see that silver continues to kind of struggle to get back above it. So that's why we will remain a little bit on the cautious side, and we'll keep an eye on this upside line. If we of course we see a break below this, and then we see a drop, a nice good drop and a daily close below the 21-day EMA, then yep, we could consider some lower levels here. We could aim for further declines. If, of course, if silver travels back above the 17.60 territory, then yep, there are a few more chances for this one to climb higher. A quick update on Ripple. Again, the fact that it's pushing higher, that's very, very interesting here. It failed to move towards this key area of support. I was looking at this one previously. That's the lowest point of December 2019. It kind of found support this week. It found support near this level, near the 0.1822 zone, from which it rebounded and is now, like I said, trying to make its way higher again. However, currently at this point in time, Ripple is getting a hold up near the 21-day EMA. So, well, to be honest, for now we'll still remain neutral, because even with the upside, we would prefer to see prefer to wait for a push above the 0.2052 to 53 zone, and then aim for higher levels. So until then, we're still considering this possible scenario where we could see a push higher, but if it gets a hold up here near the 0.2052 and struggles to overcome it, then yep, another round of selling could be possible. Quick update on EURGBP. I spoke about this one this morning. Still, to be honest, the same picture as of this morning. The pair, yes, on one hand continues to balance above this upside support line taken from the low of the 19th of March. On the other hand, it's struggling to get back above this 74.47 zone. So basically, until it's kind of stuck here in between these lines, we're going to probably stay a little bit maybe cautiously bullish or maybe even neutral. So we would prefer to wait for a nice daily close above the 74.47 zone and then aim for higher levels. Well, until then, to be honest, it's a bit of a tricky one. GBPUSD here, it's quite interesting. So of course, as you if you're following the news, we did get some nice data, well, relatively nice data. Well, it's good, kind of good CPI figures from UK. Apart from the core, of course, but yep, the headline CPI came out kind of better than the month-on-month came out better than the forecast. The year-on-year number was the same as the forecast, so that's quite good. The core figure, unfortunately, disappointed. Both core figures, the month-on-month and the year-on-year, disappointed their expectations, and yep, came out lower. PPI numbers were also on the lower side, so PPI output and input. So yep. That kind of made the pound traders worry a little bit. However, as you can see, still the pound, although it declined a little bit, but not significantly here, overall it still remains above this short-term and even tentative, to be honest, upside support line taken from the low of the 20th of March. And in a way, we can say that as long as this upside line remains intact, we could consider the upside. However, probably for the upside, we would prefer maybe to wait for a push above the 1.2726 zone and then kind of aim for higher levels. Until then, kind of this area is a little bit of a tricky one. It maybe even could keep us a little bit more on the neutral side. If this upside line breaks and we see the rate falling below the 1.2363 zone, which is marked by the high of the 26th of May, then yes, maybe lower levels could be met, and further declines are possible. Quick update on USDJPY. For the past 3 days is not doing much. It's just hanging around here near this 107.32 zone. So basically, what I was saying previously, that as long as this kind of barrier, let's say, continues to provide resistance, there is still a chance for this pair to drift lower, maybe towards this key area of support near the 105.94 zone. But again, for now, to be honest, we are going to be a little bit on the neutral side, because even with the upside, we would prefer to wait for a push above the 108.08 zone and also a break above this 200-day EMA. So all this could kind of add a bit more positivity to the at least to the near-term outlook. However, for now, we are just, like I said, stuck here near this 107.32 zone, and we're stuck here for 2 days, or sorry, 3 days already. So we'll continue monitoring this and waiting for a clearer move. USDCHF. Now here, this one is quite interesting. Now, similarly, like with USD CAD that I've talked about this morning, USDCHF seems to be like forming a possible bullish flag pattern. However, it's too early to talk about that. In order to consider that idea, maybe we would prefer to wait for a push above this level right here. Let me just quickly mark this one on the chart, and that's roughly around the 0.9544 zone, this one right here, and that marks the lows of 4th of June and the 5th of June. And basically, if we do get a nice push above this, then yes, this idea of a possible bullish flag here could work out nicely. However, if the pair starts dropping below this little area right here, marked by an inside swing high of the 11th of June, which is roughly around the 0.9460 zone, then yes, maybe we could aim for lower levels, and yep, initially we'll target the low of the 11th of June, and then further declines could be possible. So again, for now, we are very careful here, because again, on one hand, it could be a possible bullish flag. On the other hand, well, I mean, still the pair kind of remains within a downtrend. So yep, that's why be very careful with that. EURGBP, the quick update here, because to be honest, not much has changed, and it's still, the pair still remains within this range. We are waiting for a clear breakthrough one of these levels here, either through the 0.8864 zone or through the 0.19 area, or in a way we could round it up towards the 0.9020 territory. So a breakthrough one of these levels could in a way open the door to a further directional move, but again, until then we're going to remain neutral. And finally, Euro USD here. So this is exactly what I was talking about this morning, basically in my and yesterday I mentioned this as well in my videos. Basically the pair is kind of drifting lower. It seems to be like forming a possible head and shoulders pattern here, but we still need to have a break through this neckline. We did have an attempt today, but as you can see, the pair kind of got pushed back up here. Don't get me wrong, we still have a full US session to go through, so let's see if the dollar can strengthen, or the and we could see this one declining. We could see euro dollar kind of moving lower. If we do see a nice daily candle here staying below this area, below this 1.1237 territory, roughly around there, which is marked by the high of the 16th of March, then further declines could be possible. We could aim then for this 1.1147, and then we would take it from there, because as I mentioned before, this is a very important level for us, because that marks the high of the 27th of March here, and in a way it could get a hold up here somewhere, but if it fails to do so, then yep, further declines are possible. So this kind of level could open the door towards even further declines. But again, for now, all eyes are on this area here right now, on the possible neckline of this pattern here on Euro USD. So let's see if this works out or not. So guys, I hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time. If you want to catch my video tomorrow, as always, my Traders Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. But for now, I hope you have a wonderful trading day, guys, or trading evening, or if you're still trading in general. But in general, have a wonderful evening, guys. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.